Hello again, I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to Jimsville, another episode of City Skylines PS4 edition. And as the sun continues to rise, look at this. We have perfect flowing traffic. Oh, it's taken a fair bit of effort, but I've managed to figure out how to get this running at a nice, constant, efficient rate. It's busy, but it's not busy enough to bring everything to a grinding halt. So I'll take you through the changes that we've made. So first off, there's nothing over here has really changed. We still feed in 2 lanes to a roundabout here. We've made it triple road, and you'll notice it's one way now. So you have to come this way. And I've put bus lanes in because I do have a bus service that runs down here. At the moment it just makes 1 stop or 2 stops. I need to actually program the rest of the stops in, but I put the bus route in just so I could see where everything would go, and that lane is there for the buses, as you see whizzing through. So we feed over to another triple roundabout here, and this is the main entry into the entire residential district. So you can see the traffic will run up here, and it doesn't really come to a stop. Like I say, it's constant flow of traffic, and then we have an option here. If you need to, you can break off and go straight to the cargo centre. So we're going to assume that we are, and then we're going to go into the main district over here. Oh, also, you'll notice I have a slip road just here, which feeds off into 2 locations. One goes into the lumber mill, the other one goes down underneath and comes back up here, allowing traffic that wants to go directly into the commercial the standard industry to completely bypass the station and not get caught up with traffic pulling in and out there. So we feed around here, twin lane, and then it's a nice 2-lane system all the way through. Comes up to here, and then we have a split, and again you can go around and do that part of the industry there, and then feed back here, and here we have another slip road. We also have the main road which feeds off to here, and then it becomes triple lane down to the roundabout, and then the traffic will be able to merge back out and go back up to the freeway that way. So if you don't take that route and you take this merge, what that does is, if you've come directly into this industry and then you need to go to the rail hub, you can now take this slip road down here, you go underneath, feed back up here onto this slip road, underneath again, around and up, and it brings you back here onto this roundabout, so you can then go directly up to the rail hub. And there we go, there's your rail hub. So let's assume this time that we're going into the lumber yard. So you have a choice. If you go into here first, you can then just pull straight out, and then you can go into the lumberyard, or you can take the slip road and just go straight into the lumberyard. And then again we have 2-lane traffic, 1-way system running all the way along, down this side here, looping around and back to the central feed, and then from here, this is where we feed back out. So we have that slip road there that feeds onto the triple lane, so that the traffic there can then disappear off back to the freeway, and then we have this slip road which joins up with the one from the standard industry just there, links up, goes underneath, and this is for traffic that then needs to go to the rail terminal, so they can then come back up here, and you see they feed around and then they head back up to the rail link. And it's a constant flow of moving traffic. There's no serious log jams, there's no long queues of people waiting to get somewhere. It's a nice steady flow. And what I have found as well is that these slip roads, the traffic can in some circumstances actually move faster on these than it can on the traditional roads. It can definitely move faster on freeway than it can on traditional roads. See, it's getting quite foggy because of the smog from all of our industry here, and it's starting to get dark again. But it's just a constant flow of traffic. We do get occasional little queues when we start throwing in things like trash trucks into the mix to come in and just clear up the industry. They tend to cause a little bit of a slowdown to the flow, But on the whole, it's generally a pretty constantly moving traffic system. There's no real choke points where everything just causes a massive backlog like we had before. So industry is pretty much fixed. About time. Oh, and then obviously we have this road here that feeds all the way along. We don't get a lot of traffic along here at the moment, but I shortened it and brought it out here to this roundabout here. And the traffic in here is coping pretty well with the road network because it's a very small amount of traffic that's in here at the moment. It's going to change once we rebuild the commercial district, so we are going to have to completely rebuild the road network in here once we do that, because I'm sure it'll get overwhelmed again. And the other thing I've done is I've changed the rail system. So you may have noticed we have two railways. So essentially we have the one feeding in just here, and we can see we've got a freight train coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inspector on this, and we're going to follow this train. So let's just zoom out a bit. So we go through that station, can't really avoid that, but then we have a loop off here, up and over the freeway, down and into our rail hub for cargo. And then we have a continuous second line that runs parallel to the commercial, to the residential line, the commuter line. And this way it doesn't cause snafus at the stations, because I have noticed when it splits over to daytime and all those rail services kick into overdrive, when the number of trains on the line increases, then it causes huge queues with all of the red trains coming in from outside, all of the freight trains and all of our passenger services running at the same time as well. So I completely redesigned everything over here, look. And then we come up and down, and we've actually got a bit of a queue here into this station. It's not ideal. I might need to redo this junction because it's a little close to the terminal, as you can see. But essentially everything comes down into this rail hub here, and then can then go off and rejoin the main line just there. And then we have our rail line for passenger traffic just here. One of those trains will disappear in a second and start to clear the line up again. And then this again has a little interchange just here. There we go. Everything's moving again now. So we've got that train pulling out, that one pulling in. Yeah, we probably need to just lengthen the track just here before we have this pull off just there. So I'll probably have to put it on this corner or something instead. But you can see here the rail line there goes underneath and then bends around and can rejoin the main connection just there. Again, it's really dark. We might have to wait for the sun to come up, which it's doing right now. Isn't that handy? So here we go. You can see trains coming in, and they are kind of getting in each other's way a little bit. But these are red trains, so these don't really matter that much. The main thing is that our passenger lines run us much more smoothly now. So you can see here comes a passenger line. We have two separate lines at the moment. We have one that runs from here to Kanto, I think, and then another one that runs from Kanto to Johto. Two separate lines. And there you can see we've got passenger and freight running side by side. And that freight train isn't getting held up by these two going into that station. And obviously the commuter lines are being held up by the freight running through the station as well. And then we come to this split here, and I've just noticed actually I am missing, let's put that in right now, track. I'm missing a connection here, look. Like that. So we have no link for red trains to go that way. I did notice that occasionally I would get red trains come up onto this track, and it was really frustrating me. But that might be why, because I forgot to put that little connection in just there. So hopefully now our rail networks will run completely independently of each other. then they won't get in each other's way. Let's just head back over here. We've got a few buildings that burnt down. That's not good. Clear those out. This is another big job that we're going to have to really work on, but we have a good framework to work with now, having completely sorted out the industry over here. And again, as we look overhead, you can see it's busy, but it's constantly moving. This is like peak time at the moment. Lots and lots of commercial and industrial traffic coming in because it's daytime, and yet it's just constantly moving. There's no big queues. There's no huge tailbacks that is just slowing everything to a complete halt. It's just this wonderful, constantly moving organism. I love it. So let's pan the camera back over here. Yeah, let's before I forget, let's make this change. So I'm going to pause time. I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to move it ever so slightly across a bit. So we'll bring it up here instead, where there's a little bit more room. So I want to go to rail, freeform. I want a piece to kind of come off. And down. Like so. And then let's curve that around like that. And then let's do the same here. Let's bring a piece down. Oops, I'm a little bit too close to that line there. This is proving awkward. Maybe instead of putting it there, it would be better to do it here where I have more space. Yeah, I think here would be better to do it. So let's bring a line off. We'll bring it off nice and early. Like so. And then we'll try from here to link up to that. Need to bring this along a bit more, I think. And then if we go there and bring it down, actually we need to bring it up a little bit first. Make sure I'm not getting too high. If we go to say there like that, bring the line down. Again, we're going to have the same issue. This is the only downside. I tell you what, instead of having these long sections like that, let's bring them down a little bit quicker. Let's get them down on the ground earlier. Let's bring that line across like that, and then from there we're a little bit close to the commuter junction, but hopefully we'll be okay. Alright, so traffic can come in this way, go up and over. Yeah, I would prefer to have kept that Well, it'll do, I think. Let's just see if it works. Got an annoying little bump there that I can't really do a lot about. Everything seems to be flowing. Here we got a cargo train coming in. And another one coming in as well. And we've got a couple loading up as well. So we're starting to get some busy traffic here. But everything seems to be able to get in and out without any real issue, which is what we were looking for. We've got one coming in now. Which way is he going? Yeah, it seems to be working quite well. It's quite a lot of track. It's a little bit clunky and messy, but because you can't put train lines right next to each other, this is the best we can do. And because there aren't 4 tracks, you know, again, it's kind of... The only other option we would have would be to run a single line and then just have a branch off just to hit a station. But again, we're going to end up with... Because we can't control these external trains, the only way we could really manage the system would be to have a completely internal system. But then we wouldn't be able to bring in exports from the outside. It would be a mess. Either way, it's not an ideal system. And you can't control which trains go on which tracks either. But at least this way, by having 2 separate lines like this, we gain a modicum of control. You know, up to a certain point. Obviously there is, you know, the odd sort of bit where we have to run on a single line like that. But apart from that, I'm generally pretty happy with everything over here. So next up then is to try and figure out how to rebuild our commercial. So that's going to be a big job. Let's get started on that, and I will see you in just a moment. In fact, thinking about it, more important than getting our commercial zone up and running is actually putting in a proper ring road system. So as you can see, this entrance here is working quite nicely, but it's based on a much smaller quantity of traffic than we're actually going to get, and once we start filling it up, it's just not going to cope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a freeway ring road that goes around the whole district. So I'll have a road that comes out this way and just feeds this way, and then loops around, and it'll mean tearing up everything that we've kind of built in some places, which is again a shame, but I think it's going to be kind of unavoidable, because otherwise we're just going to end up with a gridlocked Kanto again, which is exactly what I don't want. But then I'll have another road that'll sort of loop all the way around, back around here, and feed back onto here again, and then from there, once we have that kind of looped road going all the way around, we'll have it with freeway. So we'll have 2 lanes running parallel to each other like this, and I will probably run it... do I run it above ground, or do I run it... I could run it below ground. That might be the better option, and then have traffic looping up. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do a below ground connection. That'll be quite interesting. And then what I'll do is I'll run the track itself, or the route itself, underground. It'll run around the edges of the area that we're going to be building in. So we'll still have room inside that to put our metro system in, which will be completely redesigned. And then we'll have lots of little up routes. So like we've done here, where we have these little slip roads coming up like this, we'll have lots of those just popping up around the city. And we'll have a twin lane freeway running all the way around the edge of Kanto. So probably coming out over this way, I'll probably stay this side of the railway, run it all the way around here underground like this, all the way underground like this, and then all the way back down here again, and then loop back into the roundabout up here. And that way, hopefully, we won't have to tear most of this down. We'll just have to tear down sections of it and rework them slightly, and we can do that in stages. So I'm going to get a excuse me, I'm going to go on ahead and start building our underground freeway. Okay, so what I've done is I've rebuilt this little district here in the corner. I completely squared everything up now, so we're running perfectly square against the borders here, whereas before we were slightly crooked. And so if we go to roads, if actually no, we can go to traffic. Info views, there we go, traffic. So what we've got here is 6-lane road that runs all the way along like that, and then comes onto the roundabout here, and then we have 6-lane road that goes all the way along here, and these side roads here, these are guide roads, so I know where I can put my slip roads coming on and off. So here we have our first junction. It's underground, so you can't really see, but it's 2-way 6-lane road, and then we have 1-way 2-lane traffic coming up either side, or going up or down either side. So if we move back to this area here, you can see we've got loads of taxis just driving around in this area at the moment. Not entirely sure why. So the traffic will come up here, up that slope, and feed into the district here, and then from there it goes 2-way. It goes 1-way. So you either split off and go right, which means you follow the road around here, and then I probably need to rework the way this has been done actually. Yeah, I need to change direction on that centerpiece there. So if I go to change direction, like that, there we go. Now there's access to, if actually no, if we do that and we change the direction on this piece here, that makes a bit more sense. So traffic will feed in here and then come around to this sort of feed point here, come along there and go along that way, and then onto the down ramp, as you can see, and onto the freeway. Or if it goes this way, then it comes here and we have some 2-lane traffic just there, sorry, 2-direction traffic just there for that piece, and then 1-way there, 1-way feeding in that way, 1-way going around and feeding that way, and then coming into the district just there. So I stripped out what was everything that was in this corner here, so we're waiting for the rebuild to start happening, and here it finally comes. We are starting to run in profit again now, thanks to things changing a little bit, but I've put them 2 layers down the freeway. I put it 2 layers down because I wanted to try and prevent noise pollution being a major issue. Hopefully that will take care of it. So we just need these buildings to start coming in. Yes, I know there's no power at the moment, but as more stuff comes in, it should hopefully start to build a grid. Have I got anything on this edge here? Yes, I do. There we go, we've got something coming in here. We just need one house to go just there. There we go. House goes in on the corner there, and immediately we've got power to the whole sector there. Let's fill this section in as well. Like so. So this is our first experimental little grid that we're building here. Land value here is terrible. I don't care. That's going to get ripped up in a moment anyway. You can see our population's taken a big hit from clearing out, this section here and this section. Well, we never actually built that section in, did we? But from ripping all of that out, we've really hammered the land value, but that's fine. It'll improve as we continue to expand on this area here. So I want to start seeing some traffic coming in. Let's go to info views and see if we can actually see that traffic. That's transport. Oh, is that a... That looks to be what's left of a metro line, which apparently is still getting 9 people a week on it. Traffic, there we go, that's what we want. So we're looking for traffic moving on this section of road here, because obviously these houses are being built So we should start to see people moving into this area. I'm not sure which way they're going to come. I tell you what, I think what I'll do as well, just to make things really interesting, we'll make this 6-lane... No, I don't know. Do I want to make this one way? It's a long way for someone to trek. If they if they live here and they want to go to here, it's a long way to go. I think we'll leave it as just a single 6-lane as it is now. I mean, we pushed it right up against the borders, so roundabouts are kind of not really going to happen unless we were to make some significant changes to that. But I'm quite happy with the way things are at the moment. You can see these houses are all pinging. Oh, we have some traffic. We have a car. This is our main entrance point. I don't know if we'll actually see traffic on the underground road. So I'm just going to hover here. And let's see. No, we can't see them on the underground roads. But here it all comes, look. All we'll have to do is basically just watch out for queues. That's a bit frustrating that I can't actually see the traffic below ground. But we can see we've got cars moving into the area as all these houses start to go up. Our population is starting to go back up again. And this is the experiment. If this works, and so far it looks as though it is working, this will become the default template. And obviously what we'll do is, obviously we'll rip this roundabout out, and we'll rip this section out and rebuild that, and we'll move across in stages, chunk by chunk by chunk, so we don't rip everything out and then have to rebuild from complete scratch. We'll build this in sections like this. But assuming this works, this will give us a nice kind of blueprint for a way we can build going forward. And now I can actually take out these power lines here. Don't need these anymore. There we go. So I have my connection here going over the railway. So everything's going in here quite nicely. We don't have any services in this area just yet, so no schools, no parks, nothing like that. That'll all get added in at a later time and date. But for now, like I said, all I want to do is just make sure that, you know, people are coming in and using this. And these houses are leveling up really quickly, which is great to see. Can we get maybe... It won't show us the... It doesn't show us how busy the underground roads are. But we can see we have got... This is basically an indication of how much traffic is coming into our underground section here. That's our underground bridge. Oh, we've got someone coming out, look. So someone's obviously off shopping or off to work or something like that. But traffic going in there. This is all traffic moving in. So you can see we are getting some traffic feeding in. The problem is that we have a 3-lane system, but the game just doesn't seem to use it properly. So, you know, everything's feeding into this single lane here, which gets a bit annoying. And more often than not, the traffic doesn't seem to want to filter properly. It moves over way too early. I'll see if I can find another example of that somewhere. Alright, let's slow time down and watch this roundabout in action. See, look, these trash trucks. I mean, yeah, okay, they're going like that, but there's no reason why they couldn't use that first lane there, closest to us, but they stick in the outside lane. And more often than not, a lot of traffic tends to do that, and it's only the taxis and buses that tend to use the first lane to filter into that lane there. It's kind of frustrating that the traffic doesn't quite behave the way you would expect it sometimes. I mean, here we go, we've got all this traffic trying to merge into one single lane so it can then merge. This is a 2-lane road, look. all this traffic wants to turn down here, or the majority of it does, but it sticks in the far outside lane. This is what I mean here. I mean, anything that should be turning should be coming in this first lane here, and then the middle lane should also be filtering traffic round into this section, but it's not. It doesn't go into the middle lane until it's already past this junction, and that to me is just wrong. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Look, we've got a single file lane of traffic coming in on a 3-lane road, and it's only stuff that wants to go to the underground connection, you know, bar the odd vehicle that is using, and even the stuff that's doing that is also going into the underground there as well. It's really frustrating that the traffic does this. It helps create a lot of unnecessary traffic jams because the traffic doesn't use both lanes available to it. You know, more often than not. See, the only reason the taxi's doing that is because they're going into that first lane right there, but everything else, it's just sticking in the inside lane, look, and the only stuff using the middle lane, bar taxis and emergency services, is stuff that's pulling off into our underground section. So yeah, a little frustrating. That's one of the biggest problems I've had with traffic problems. But yeah, this is why I've created this underground network, to try and overcome that. So let's take another look at this little area over here, and you can see it's building up quite nicely. You can see all the traffic flooding in. Got a nice direct route to their residential over here without having to have this huge great big scrap all the way through the centre there. And you can see the traffic that's rejoining that road to head back out. Have we seen any traffic? We haven't seen any traffic coming out here yet. Let's just keep an eye on this road, see if traffic is coming up this way. Yep, there it is, look. And we've actually got traffic turning in that way as well, which is good to see. So we only have like 1 or 2 junctions for them to kind of get held up by traffic lights, and there's no traffic coming off those other junctions apart from our one single connection just over here at the moment. So traffic flow on that should be absolutely spotless, effectively. Really clean, crisp and smooth traffic flow, and I'm hoping that's going to be the case going forward all the way along. We can't really tell, unfortunately, with our info views. We can't see the traffic flow underground, which is a little frustrating. At least I don't think we can. We can tell a bit more over here because we have quite a busy road network over here. Let's see. Can we see the? No, we can only see the colour going in and coming out. We can't see the colour anywhere else. You see, it's just that dark grey underneath colour. As it goes down and then comes up again, it doesn't show us the traffic level that's in there. So all we have for clues is, you know, the roads coming in and out of those underground sections. But again, even here, look, you can see we've got red, but it's because it's very, very heavy of use, but it is all moving constantly. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if we do have red roads. It's whether that stuff comes to a complete standstill or not. So right, well, our test has been successful. We're pretty much out of time, so I'm going to call it an episode here. In the next part, we will continue to improve our areas. And if you know what this symbol is for, please do let me know, because I haven't been able to figure this one out yet. All I know is that citizens are sick, but I don't know why. I don't know if that is garbage or if it's noise, or it looks like it's some kind of, waste. So let's actually, maybe it's, let me check. It's not sewage. We have good sewage flow, and we have plenty of capacity left in our sewage treatment before we have to put another plant in, so it's not that. So yeah, if you know what that symbol is, please do let me know, because I haven't been able to find an answer to it just yet. So anyway, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and we'll be back with another episode of Jimsville and some more City Skylines PS4 edition very soon.